Hey you guys, welcome back. We will be covering the top 5 things that you should know about this partial eclipse happening July 16th, 2019, 5:38 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure that you stick around to the end because there will be a divine reading. 5. The eclipse will be happening 24 degrees in Capricorn and 24 degrees in Cancer. So let's do a little bit of math here first. 24. 24 is the number of divine conviction, but breaking this down even further, 2 plus 4 equals 6, and 6 is that of the ego, of the flesh, and of the spirit man. So in Capricorn, the number 6 represents the physical body, represents matter, represents the stubbornness, if you will. And the number 6 in Cancer represents the higher self, represents the spirit man. So we're moving from the fleshly aspects of ourselves, 3D, and moving into 5D, the more spiritual aspects, the light body of ourselves. 4. Endings. Endings of hard times are behind us. So Capricorn represents structure, not only just time, but structure and the building of the structures. So imagine a house. Capricorn will build the house to perfection. And Cancer will be the energy of making the house a home. So with Capricorn, although we may have built something that was sturdy for ourselves, such as a nice job, such as a nice home, a nice car, or the like, things of the physical nature, that we do not feel at home with what we have in our 3D experience. So the endings of that, the endings of living in the shadows, the endings of living in the fleshly world, the endings of the 3D mindset, the 3D suppressed mental, and being held prisoner by that 3D suppressed mental. So old things may arise at this time just to be karmically burned, alchemically processed, meaning that they have the last little bit of these, I want to say residue, has to come to the forefront so that way it can be cleansed. That's what the purification process requires. It requires for everything to come to the surface so that way it can be purified. How can you embark on something new when you are still held karmically to the past? One scripture that comes to mind is in the New Testament, the Christ had a parable. And so the parable was, do not put new wine in old wineskins. From my understanding, wineskins, if you put new wine into old wineskins, that is something about the process of the fermenting of the wine, that it will burst the wineskin. And so pretty much what the Spirit is saying with that, you have this new mentality that's coming through, a new life that is coming through, but you want to try to put it into the old mindset. You want to try to make it fit into the old conditionings of the 3D experience. However, you are moving into the 5D. Okay, and so if you try to put something of a higher magnitude, something of a higher consciousness, such as 5D information, a 5D lifestyle, a 5D mentality, that it will burst the 3D. 5D would be the magnitude of something huge, something massive, something that is out of the imagination, and trying to condense it, trying to funnel it into a small compartment or small box. And so it cannot fit into a small box. That's why your consciousness has to raise. And that's what the Spirit is doing with these endings. So things have to come to the surface, so therefore it can be cleansed and it can be opened up, so that way you can receive new information. You can download in the 5D experience. 3. The sun in Cancer has a gift for us. So for those that have been working on their spiritual awakening process, they have been trying to raise actively and consciously, trying to raise their vibrational state, that the divine spirit has a gift for you. With the sun in Cancer, like how I was saying, Cancer would represent the soul contract, the spirit man. And the gift would be fulfilling that soul contract. So part of fulfilling that soul contract would be the introduction to who you really are. So making the soul at home. Like how I was saying, how Capricorn in the physical matter makes the foundation of the home, makes the structure of the home, precisely in the physical, making things look and feel operational. However, it's like an empty vessel. And so with this sun in Cancer, this is the fulfillment. This is like the soul coming down into that temple. This is like the soul contract being opened up and read. Imagine an envelope being sent to you with precise instructions on how to operate in the 3D, how to overcome the 3D experience, almost like the blueprint of a maze to get to the end result. And that's what the spirit is giving to you through this sun in Cancer. So the gift can come in many different facets, but the ultimate gift is you meeting yourself, you aligning with your inner higher self. And so your inner self, the core being that we have formed false identities around to protect the core being. The core being is aligned and attached, energetically attached to the higher self, the faculties of the higher self. And so through all these energetic blockages, the messages can be skewed. The information can be watered down. But through this karmic burning, you are able to unfilter that information. You're able to unsuppress that foul, if you will. So it may be someone, for those that may not know, I am a channeler too. So it may be someone that is listening to this podcast or either video, and they may be a computer whiz, I want to say, or a computer expert, or they have dabbled in it. And so when I said the file is uncompressed, that could be a specific message for that individual to better understand the message. But anyways, regardless if it is or is not, that this message, imagine having a floppy disk, okay, I'm telling my age right now, or a file on a USB. And you put the USB into the computer and you go to the home page and you open up what is on that flash drive to receive that information, to have it downloaded onto your hard drive. And that is what is happening. You are receiving those new downloads. It's a new program, 5D baby, that's coming through. 2, the new beginning. So the North Node is in Cancer. The South Node is in Capricorn. The South Node is where we're leaving from 3D and entering into 5D. So some individuals may already be on the 5D level. However, there's others of us that are in between the 3D, maybe in 4D, pinky toe in 5D, if you will. So sort of teeter-tottering. So I see when that teeter-tottering, I see an individual with their higher self in between and their lower self, which would be like their 3D psyche, and their teeter-tottering in between. Like, oh yes, I get it, I am on 5D. Oh no, I'm back into the 3D suppressed mental. I'm being held and bonded by the 3D. Situations are trying to hold me up. Energetic blockages are getting in the way. But with this new beginning and the changing of the compass, it's like I was saying, with that static, with that hesitancy I specifically hear, it's like the compass was going everywhere. Like the magnetosphere was off. Like the pointer was just going around and around in circles. But now it's starting to straighten up within this compass, so that way you can find your direction and you can start to head towards your, I hear specifically, soul family, your soul purpose, and feeling more at home in your body. Many of us may have felt out of place within different relationships, different interactions. We tried our best with these false identities, these false selves that we placed around the core being of who we really are to try to fit in. But the spirit has been peeling those layers off, and even painfully peeling them off, scab and all, okay? So this new beginning is coming through. Number 1, so this is the divine reading here. We have 3 cards. The 7 of Pentacles, Lord of Success Unfulfilled. The 3 of Swords, Lord of Sorrow. And the King of Wands, Prince of the Chariot of Fire. So before you click off of this video, listen. This is the energies that are passing through. Okay, so with this soul, the 7, I want to say souls of fire. That's what I wanted to say. But with this 7 of Pentacles, so real quick, I'm going to take you back to this date, July, the 7th month, 16th, 7, 2019. So how do I get 7 out of that? Is that 1 times 9 is 9. And minus 2 would be 7. So 777 is the number of angelic, divine, and ancestral information interactions. Okay, so that's what's going on here. You're having some type of divine intervention, excuse me. And with the timing here, I'm going to get to the time in a minute. So excuse me for that. So with this 7 of Pentacles, we have here a hand holding a dried up bunch of roses. Okay, so there's 5 roses. So 5 is significant because that is the number of divine timing as well as divine grace and mercy. So going back to the timing of this partial eclipse, 5:38. We have 5, and then we have 8 minus 3, another 5. So 5, 5, which also equals 10, a completion of something. The Lord of Success Unfulfilled. So the reason why it is listed not like Lord of Failure or something, but the Lord of Success Unfulfilled, because the success is in the hand. The success is in these dried up roses because that is a lesson to be learned. That is part of your soul contract that is divinely led and guided. So with this 7 of Pentacles as well, this is Saturn in Taurus. This is temporary success for some individuals. You could have had a temporary stint or relationship with your divine partner, and it didn't pan out the way how you wanted it to or you thought it would. So you thought, okay, it's not over, all right? The message is not over, okay? It could have been with a business. It could have been with anything that you felt like you have failed at, but you have not failed. You still have a fighting chance. Your hand is still holding on to the promise, okay? The 3 of Swords. So traditionally, we do know what the 3 of Swords mean. Sorrow, pretty much. So it says Lord of Sorrow. This is how the way you have been feeling because you have been bound to the 3D experience. Because things have been, I hear specifically, road blocked. You had to take detour over here. That road was blocked. A detour over there. And that road was blocked. But however, with these 3 swords, these 3 swords are working in unison. The Trinity template, the Trinity energy, the Christos energy is coming through, cut those energetic blockages with the 7-7 energy, 777 energy, okay? Which is the angels, your spirit guides. They're whispering in your ears, but can you hear? I specifically hear. This is Saturn in Libra, 10 to 20 degrees. Separation, interruptions. Boy, have we had some interruptions in our plans. That 7 of Pentacles, our plans, our human plans, our limited-sighted plans. Those what those roadblocks came from. Those detours came from. It came from our limited understanding of things. But the divine has a higher purpose for us. And the last card is the King of Wands. So I think that this card is very beautiful because it represents Cancer as well as Leo. It represents the last deacon of Cancer and the second deacon of Leo. And this is the airy aspect of the fire energy. Okay, so we're talking about some type of vocalization. This can be very passionate vocalization or communication, but it's a very fast moving energy. So we have the North Node in Cancer. So things like how I've been speaking about, this really feels strongly like time in my hands, because of the fact that not only because I have Saturn, like 2 cards dealing with Saturn, and we know that Saturn is about time. I hear complacency. And so when I'm holding these cards, it feels like a potion in my hands. I want to specifically say this could be just a singular channel message for an individual, or this could be a collective metaphor. We'll see where it's going to go, okay? And with this, it's like that with this potion or something, it also seems like a chemistry set. It seems like someone has been doing some type of alchemy, some type of chemistry or something. They could be some type of a scientist. They could just be a studier of life itself, and this could just be a metaphor, or this could be a Wiccan or a warlock or even a witch or something, or this could just be someone that is studying medicine and they're studying how the body works. And so with this type of potion, it's like in an elixir. And so with this elixir, this is causing things to move causing the blood to move differently throughout the body. So someone could have had diabetes, and they have found a cure for it. This could just be someone singular and they have learned how to heal themselves, or someone is working on a cure for diabetes or some type of blood disorder. I also hear something about scabies as well. Okay, so that's singular channel message. Okay, so the overall collective right now with this energy, this fire energy, this fast moving energy, we're talking about the revelations. We're talking about, this is also feeling very much like the rebirth of the masculine, which is the ego, which is the part of the mind that keeps one suppressed. Okay, this also is talking about here with this flying lion, for those that are watching on YouTube, the flying lion. So you have not only just the tribe of Judah, which is one of the 12 tribes of Israel, but however, I'm not just talking about like in a religion or something. I'm talking about 12 times 12, 144, and the vibration of the 144 energy, the frequency of the 144, okay? And when I say 144, I see a wedding ring on the finger. So that could be a message for divine partners, okay? But this is also talking about the bride and what they call the Christ, okay? And we're talking about the spiritual union that goes beyond just a regular marriage, okay? So I have done a playlist on the difference pretty much between marriage and divine marriage, okay? There is a difference, okay? Because we have a specific calling. That's the reason why we vibrate, or we're moving to the vibration of 144, okay? And so for those 1.4 percenters that I covered in the hierarchy of the collective, this feels very, I hear promising. It could be a promise ring that's coming through for someone, and you take that how you want to take it. With a promise ring, that could be symbolic of something, but it is a ring that is involved. It could be a ring as far as like how they say, oh, give me a ring. But I feel like even past that, for some, okay, so we have also too with this individual, with this representation of the phoenix, so the rebirth, okay? But we also have the ring, the halo around this individual's, the masculine, like how I'm saying, this is a energy for all of us, because all of us have the masculine energy within us, all of us have the ego that we have to crucify continually. Otherwise, we will be stuck in the 3D mental. We will be stuck in suppression and depression, okay? And so with this alchemicalized processed mind, which is represented by the Christ, which is also represented by the crucifixion, because it was the ego death, okay, before the ascension, okay. And so with this halo, this is talking about the purification of the halo. This is also a portal. And so the reason why, not only is it the reason why the halo is around the head, because the head is where the brain is, okay. If you hit the head, then the whole body drops, okay. So like how I was saying, the analogy that came through with the hierarchy of the collective, that 1.4%ers at the top, okay, that's the reason why they receive the information first, because they filter it and they make it digestible, mentally and spiritually digestible for the rest of the collective, okay. And so this also feels like a target. This also feels like some entities or energies that are trying to attack these individuals specifically, okay. So going back to this flying Judah, or this flying lion, this also feels like the 1.4%ers. I'm actually doing some research on this now, and tapping into the divine spirit about this, about the tribes that deal with the tribes of Levi and the tribes of Judah. And these are those individuals that are the 1.4%ers, okay. And I'm talking about the type of energy that they carry. I'm not talking about a lineage, quote unquote, all right. And so they have to be activated at a higher level in order to, for this these entities or this energy to miss their mark. So if you're looking at the screen, the guy that is driving this chariot with the lion on there, okay, that he has like a halo around him. But specifically with this message, that is coming through, it looks like a target, like someone is trying to target them because they are the head and they have a lot of activations to go through. But guess what? I've been feeling it on my body as I started to talk about this card right here. Guess what, though? They are highly favored and blessed, okay? And whoever these individuals are, they have been through a lot of activations, even throughout their life. I hear a revolving door. I also hear like you know how like in a gun, when you open up the pocket piece, I don't know what you call it, revolver, I think, that you put the different bullets in there. And I specifically see 5 of them in there. It's closed and it's spinned around. Although there's 7 chambers in there, it's only 5 bullets in there. And it's like a Russian roulette. These individuals is like, they're trying to pick these individuals. They're targeted or something. And these energies, and so remember that energies are synonymous with behaviors, synonymous with energies that other people can carry with them. Some people call them spirits, or some people can call them demons, but demons is nothing but the shadow aspects of the angels. And there are angels. I'll get into that in another video, not to make it too complicated, but anyways, so they're like parasites, and they're trying to target these individuals and implant some type of energy within them, or some type of thought to deter them from moving forward. So if you are one of these individuals, sometimes they call them targeted individuals, or another phrase I've heard, which I don't know too much about, is gang stalking. Something similar to that. But anyways, like they have to go through these different activations. So with the winged lion, the lion is talking about the mind and having the higher levels of the mind, because the Christ is also synonymous with the lion, okay, because the Christ came from that tribe, okay. And when I say Christ, I'm talking about what they call Jesus or Yahushua, okay. And so he also ascended as well after the ego death, all right. And so these individuals are ascended, even if they may not be in the physical sense. They may be teeter-tottering between the 3D and the 4D and the 5D, because they have a lot of activations. They're targeted, okay. So or some of them may already be at that level. You know, it's individual, okay. So you could know where you are if this is for you. But anyways, so they are ascended, and they're going to ascend to the next level. Okay, so let me see if the spirit has anything else to say. A specific message that I heard, that many have soiled their pillows with tears, okay? But those tears or watering your seeds that you have planted. And it's growing, okay? And so don't give in to the temptation. What is the temptation? The temptation to give into those thoughts, those lower vibrations, all of these energies that will come to you. That's how you know you're on the right path, you know? And you are in the right season, and you're headed into an abundant season because the test will pick up, okay? I'm out here scholar, but hold on, scholar. Someone could be studying, but it feels like a name, like I want to, like it's coming out as scholar, but I see the name Taylor. So it could be Taylor, like the person's name could be Taylor, or they could be a tailor, like, you know, someone that goes to get their suit tailored. And so with scholar and tailor, it could be making reference to customizing, like you are a custom copy of your higher self, okay? And so you have to almost, I even hear the word carbon copy. So this is talking about aligning with your higher self to activate the inner higher self, okay? And to walk around like a carbon copy. Like what I see like a complete replica of an individual. And the higher self is completely in alignment with the lower self. You know what it reminds me of? I just recently seen the movie Us, and how it was almost like carbon copies. Ooh, I got the chills real quick. Okay, if you haven't seen that movie, it's a nice movie. Okay, so you had the lower entities or vibrations, and then you had the ones that were above ground, but flip that the other way. So your higher self is trying to navigate, well, it is navigating you, but you got to go through these different activations though. You know, people will try to say you are disconnected from your higher self, or you get connected with your higher self. You are always connected to your higher self. That energetic cord cannot be broken. Now it can receive or have I want to, you know, the one word that came to me is energetic downloads, but what that pretty much what the spirit is saying like that is like energetic blockages. And so that just comes from the disalignment with the 3D, with the higher self. And it's just like it has to clear way. And that's what the alchemical processing is for, aka karmic burning. And I actually have an old video entitled Karma, the Holy Spirit, and the Christos energy, all one and the same. And what it does is just activates change. The Holy Spirit is there to lead and guide you through these different activations. No different than your higher self, no different than what karma is meant to do, which is to clear those blockages that keep you bound to the 3D experience, so that way you can ascend. Okay, so yeah, that is the message that we have. I hear Brenda, I hear Jacob as well. So that Jacob could be dealing with the 12 tribes as well, but it could be an individual. It also, I hear, it could be an attitude as well. Okay, I'm just waiting to see. All right, so if you like this message and you want more messages like this, as well as the other playlists that we have over here, Spirit Animals, Feminine Fridays, Masculine Mondays, the Twin Flame Starseed Bible Studies, and Decoding, join us over here by hitting that subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, so you can receive notifications when we go live, post new readings, post new information like this, post anything pretty much. If you're interested in even taking it a step further, you can join our Patreon page, and that's continuous support for this ministry. And as a free gift, that we provide a free personal energetic reading for you, as well as the other extended information over there. That link is down below. And for those that have given the 613 higher wisdom, higher knowledge energetic exchange, also known as a donation, thank you guys very much for that. That link is down below. A quick shout out to the Patreon family. Thank you guys for the continued support with that. For personal services, the link is down below. You can check out our blog at www.fd11-11ministries.org. You guys, until next time, continue to feel your flame, and you know what your flame is, okay?